the deal with this, though? Tell me if I'm wrong on this. Dramatic effect there. This team's marginal players, their role players, aren't good enough to pick the team up on a day when the Stars stumble. Now, it's hard to pick a team up in the 9th inning when, you know, your closer messes up. But they didn't hit. Nobody hit through those first 9 innings of that game for Cincinnati. And my contention is you're going to have games when your stars don't hit. You better have somebody else that picks up the slack, and they don't have it on this team.
Yeah, I think you're looking at a lineup where you're getting production out of Votto, you're getting great production out of Cozart. You're not getting anything out of Hamilton. You're not getting anything out of Bruce. Pena's actually playing okay, filling in for Mesoraco, but he's not giving you any power. He's just hitting 330 with a bunch of singles.
He's getting on. He's clutch right now.
You're not getting any power from Phillips.
There's too many gaps, I think, in the lineup. Yeah, there's guys who are hitting, but then you eventually get to that spot where you're like, this guy's only hitting, he's not hitting his weight, and it's just never gonna. You can't rely on him at all. Bruce shouldn't be in the big league club.
Wow,
that's ridiculous.
Phillips is over 300.
Well, Bruce. Maybe he's a DH somewhere with Mesoraco, on the West Coast or something.
DH, he's better in the field than he is. He's batting 167.
Here's the thing. He needs to concentrate on one thing because obviously two things are a little too much for him. Right.
He might have a problem just focusing on multitasking.
Yes.
But we had a guffaw from Matt Luken back there when you said he doesn't belong in the big leagues.
Oh, I didn't say that.
I said that.
He said that. I said that.
He guffawed. I said that. He guffawed.
Okay, well, whatever, okay? Are we a team or what? Somebody says something, just own it, right? But my point is with Bruce is that they can't do anything with him. Their best course of action with this guy is to figure out a way to get him to like 230. And he gets his 25 home runs, and he gets his 80 RBI, and then you package him with Mike Leake, and they go. Well, they couldn't do it with Leake, but you package him with somebody, and they go somewhere. I mean, the best option for this guy is to at least get him back on his roller skates, and then get him out of here after this year.
I think packaging him with someone like Mike Leake might be a good way to get someone to take him off your hands.
Mid-season.
But I think
that won't happen. He'll retire Red in 5 years. He'll still be on this ball club. Jay Bruce.
He's only got like 3 years or
right when you're about. Here's the thing. Right when you're about to trade
they'll have to
Jay
swallow
Bruce
real hard to get rid of him.
No, see the thing about him is right when we're about ready to get rid of him or bench him, he has 2 doubles in a game or 2 triples in a game or hits a home run. You're like, oh, he's back, and you're like, no. It's such a roller coaster for him.
But every other team in baseball knows what's going on with him. You're not going to fool somebody because the guy has a couple of good games.
That's what I'm saying. He's not going anywhere.
I saw someone I think on Twitter who had what I thought was hopefully a very inaccurate comparison, and Bruce will come around, but they compared him to Jeff Francoeur, who came up and was just like, I think he is. He's probably like 30 and out of baseball. Like, I mean, he came up and he just lit the league on fire. Great right fielder, rocket for an arm, hit for power, hit, high 270, 280, and regressed massively every year he was in the majors, and Bruce seemed to be going up like this, and then all of a sudden straight back down. And I saw an interview with him yesterday. He was like, it's not physical, I feel fine, I'm great.
Well, what is it?
Yeah. Hitting coach? Do we need one of those? What's going on?
And he was even hitting better when he first came back. When he first came back from his injury, he was hitting better, and then it's gone down. It's not like it was bad right after the injury. When he first came back, he was hitting.
He was hitting better in diapers.
Is it the shift?
Well, the shift's in his head. It was so funny. I was watching the game with my 15-year-old son, who's only played a couple years of baseball, and he was asking me why they were doing what they were doing, and I said, well, they break it down on stats, and he always hits it to that side. And he looked at me and goes, well, why doesn't he just hit it to the left side? And I said, that's a good question.
Maybe like a little tweak, here and there, little tweaks here and there in hitting, and from a good hitting coach, get you past that.
But see, that's what drives me crazy about the dude is if he did that 2 or 3 times, that shift would go away. They wouldn't do that. But I don't know if again, that gets into how is he being pitched? Would he be able to do that? I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things that go on in a baseball play other than a guy's got to do that,
Well, it's the same thing. It's the same argument as, well, Votto should reach out of the strike zone to try to drive in more runs or try to hit more home runs. Like, do you really want to take a guy completely off of what is his game? And when you're a power hitter that's paid to drive the ball, do you want to just slap the ball down the third base line?
But he looks like a bobblehead, though. I mean, his head is just like this is going here, and he's like, what? He's like looking over there. It's crazy, though. You see him swing. Mike's still swinging his head's like looking over at somebody eating popcorn in the stands or something, you know.
Well, left-handers always seem to have that when they get in a funk. Paul O'Neill used to look like that all the time.
I agree completely on that.
There's just something
Matt.
about left-handed hitters. I don't know why. They either look like they really got it together, or then they look like they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
and they go back and forth.
I totally agree.
Do you know why?
Because they're left-handed?
Because, yes, they are, but not because of that. It's because there are fewer left-handers, and therefore there's more focus on them. There's fewer left-handed hitters than right-handed hitters in baseball, so there's more focus on them.
So it seemed like.
Thank you.
And I only watched part of yesterday's game.
The more you know.
But it seemed like the last couple games I'd watched that Bruce his outs seemed to be a little bit more solid. There were less pop-ups and more line drives.
He was hitting the ball harder. But
he drove a ball in one of the games, one of the first 2 games against the Braves for a line drive single in the center. So I'm hoping that he's starting to come out of it a little bit. And my prediction is next week when we have this conversation that it's sort of like our conversation last week about Marlon Byrd. Oh, he's finally come back to life. Because it seems like, Byrd was looked awful, probably actually worse than Bruce has looked. And then all of a sudden he started hitting line drives to shortstop, hitting the ball hard into the outfield. And then next thing you know, he turned around and he bat like 380 with 3 home runs in 1 week kind of thing. I hope and think that Bruce seems to be making progress, but then last night seemed like a total regression.
Well, yeah, we've already sort of made the segue.